Have you ever tricked a scammer into paying you back? My birthday was coming up, and I wanted to treat myself. I'd had a good year at work, saved some money, and figured it was finally time to buy something nice. I'd always wanted a pair of Yeezys, you know, the kind of sneakers you look at online for years, but never actually buy because you can't justify the price. So I started browsing online marketplaces and stumbled across what looked like a dream deal. The seller had pictures, receipts, even screenshots of past sales. Everything looked legitimate. He seemed friendly too, casual in his messages, like someone who sold shoes regularly and knew what he was doing. He told me if I paid him directly, outside the selling platform, he'd cut me a better deal since he wouldn't have to pay seller fees. He even offered to take the money through Zelle using Chase QuickPay. I figured that sounded safe. It's through my bank, right? Wrong. That was the first mistake. I sent him $280. He said he'd ship the shoes the next day. I waited. No tracking number, no message. I followed up, no response. A day passed, then two. His page was still up, but my messages were just left on seen. That's when I realized I'd been scammed. I called Chase immediately, thinking they could reverse the payment. They told me that Zelle wasn't covered by any buyer protection. Once the money was sent, it was gone. They said the only thing I could do was contact the police. So yeah, I was out $280 and had no sneakers to show for it. But instead of giving up, I decided to get creative. If this scammer thought I was just going to vanish, he picked the wrong guy. I started digging. The seller's name matched a Facebook profile. That profile had a public post with a family photo. I found the same name listed in the white pages with a home phone number. So I called. A woman answered. I calmly told her that her son had taken money from me online and wasn't responding, and that if he didn't call me back, the police would be contacted. She sounded surprised and said her son wasn't home. I gave her my number. 5 minutes later, I got a call from a blocked number. The man on the other end sounded confused and a little nervous. He swore up and down that he hadn't sold me anything, and that's when the real story came out. He said his phone had been stolen on New Year's Eve. Whoever took it had full access to his Instagram, Venmo, and Grailed accounts, all used to sell sneakers. In just a few days, the thief had scammed dozens of people using his identity. I actually felt bad for him. He'd been getting angry calls from people who thought he was the scammer. He told me he'd already contacted the police and Venmo. Venmo had even refunded him for the fraudulent transfers. But then he mentioned something that changed everything. He'd tracked a Venmo account linked to the thief, and it had nearly the same username as a Facebook profile he'd found. That gave me an idea. I sent the photo of that Facebook profile to the scammer's Instagram account, the one that had scammed me. Within seconds, I got a message. Where did you get that? Boom, I had him. And then, unbelievably, the scammer texted me from his real phone number. I couldn't believe my luck. Now I had his name, number, and face. So I decided to have some fun. I told him that Chase's fraud team had already flagged the transaction and that they had the tracking numbers from the shipping receipts he'd sent me earlier. I said those receipts could be used to trace his billing info and IP address. I also told him the real account owner had reported everything to the police and that there was already an open investigation. He started panicking through text, asking what I knew, asking if they could find him. I stayed calm and said the best thing he could do was send me my money back before the investigation moved forward. 5 minutes later, $280 landed in my account, sent directly from his personal bank account with his real name attached. He even begged me to delete our messages and not tell anyone. I told him I would, just to keep him calm, but I wasn't deleting anything. Once I got the money back, I sent every screenshot, his messages, number, Venmo handle, and Facebook profile to the real account owner. He said he was forwarding everything to the detective working his case. Apparently, I wasn't the only one who'd been hit. There were dozens of victims. In the end, the scammer deleted his accounts and blocked me everywhere, but it didn't matter. His digital fingerprints were all over the place. And me? I still got my Yeezys from a verified store this time. Full price, no shortcuts. Because after everything I went through, I just wanted to wear them knowing that I'd gotten the last laugh. The scammer thought he could take my money and vanish. Instead, he ended up exposing his real name, number, and bank account, all on his own.